Mega Eagle for 3 years now, at least. I suppose probably more. I suppose I've been looking for a second-hand bandsaw in about the £300 price range, and having been to see a few and been very disappointed. Like, you know, cases like maybe it's a three-phase saw and someone's bodged a single-phase motor onto it, or you know, it's just generally worn out, or you know, it's overpriced for what it is. I have gone out and purchased this Titan bandsaw from Screwfix for £109, 300 watt, 350 watt, stuff down there, so it's belay side, 11 meters a second, 350 watt, 80 mil. When you've got the table on, you can fit just over a 3-inch lump of wood in there. I don't know if it'll cope with it yet, but we shall find out. It came in a box and stuff, like some styrofoam there. I'm sure some people are interested in that. Yep, nice, no damage to the box. Screwfix, if I didn't mention, and that was the cheapest place I could find it. They also got reviews on their pages, which are very helpful. So if you get stuff off eBay, it hasn't always got reviews, but this saw is a 30 quid dearer on eBay. So yeah, it's worth having a look at Screwfix for stuff like that. Not always cheapest, but sometimes. I'm sure this machine will be available in other countries with different labels on it. So let us know in the description if it's similar to something you've been looking at wherever you're from. Bits and bobs there. Table, and it's got a fence and a pusher stick. The instruction manual, which I'll have a look at, and just stuff. Yeah, we'll just have a quick thumb through that manual and take a closer look at the saw in a minute. First impressions are good. It's a very well put together machine. I'm having trouble believing it's the cheapest of its type available in the UK. Whoa! Sorry, I'm doing this on my phone. Not all the joints are welded, but I think the gauge of metal is heavy enough that it shouldn't really matter. Little spots of grot, I suppose. Wheels are lovely. Got a lovely tyre on them. The belt supplied seems to be pretty cheap and nasty. I might add at the minute that I have a look for replacement or different blades. Screwfix do sell one blade for it, although it's not in their catalogue, and there are limited availability on eBay. It's a bit of an odd size. What, 15? Like it says here, doesn't it? 1575 mil, which equates to like 62 inches or something. It's not a common size. Anyway, for 100 quid, I don't mind. You've got tension at the top here, but you need to, by the looks of things, unlock it at the back. That's not tight. What have we got there? I don't know what that one is. Oh, I suppose that's the angle. So that's the tracking of this upper wheel. The bottom one, I hope, is set already. It's got a rather complicated set of nuts on the back there to track the bottom wheel, and tooth belt drive from the motor. So that it should be fairly reliable and not require much maintenance. I don't know if replacement belts are available though. The machine definitely isn't set up, so whatever you do not switch it on when you first get it. I haven't read the manual completely yet. I'll just open the front couple of pages. The guides are way out, and I don't know if that tracking's set up, but it's something you'd want to check anyway when you're buying a new bandsaw, because you don't want to throw off a blade straight away and mark your brand new machine. So let's have a look at the little book. So I've got to getting started. There's a load of boring crap in the front, but you will need Phillips screwdriver, some of the hex keys, and 10 mil open-ended. Okay, I think it's feet first, so I'll pop them on and get back. Rather than bolt it down permanently, or clamp it down with clamps as it suggests in the leaflet, if you just want a temporary fixture somewhere, I just notch the ends of a bit of wood, and it's going to wind them into the worktop. Screw through there. That should hold it steady. I've now got the table on. bit of a fiddle getting it on. My advice is to take the angle pointer, which is quite inaccessible, I might add. And if you've got this thing fixed down against the wall like I have, though it is 2 foot against before the wall, you're going to find it hard reading the angles on the back there. But either way, take that off before you attempt to put the bed on, because you can't get it on with it there. And just a couple of little things. The book doesn't mention the fact that you need a flathead and a 13mm spanner. 13mm spanner is for tightening up that stop there. That stop puts the means the bed will always go back to square. So I've set that up with a square. It should be pretty much in the right place. But on the whole, finish of the bed is nice. No or very little play with it tightened up. This lever attaches it. This also requires a flathead screwdriver, but the second you back that lock nut off, bolt rather, the whole thing becomes a little bit live. So it's going to be very hard to accurately set your angle using the pointer. So it's probably not such a bad thing that it's completely out of the way, because it's going to be fucking useless anyway, to be honest. But hey, on the whole, not bad. That went in little bit at the front of the slot there, so you can change the blade. That's assembled now according to the book. I'm just going to have a look, see if it wants us to make any adjustments or anything like that before we fire the thing up. Square worktop table, yeah, done that. Adjusting blade tension. Okay, hang on a second. To tighten this knob until we start to engage the tensioner. Basically, there's a big spring there, and that's going to load up and pull the carriage for the wheel up into the framework. The book says to pluck the blade like a guitar string. I think that's B major or something like that. E sharp or F12. I don't know. Okay, so you're just engaging with a spring now. Alright, there we go. And it also recommends, obviously, greater tension on thicker workpieces, but warns us against bottoming the spring out and also running it too tight in general, because the blade will snap. Okay, so we're quite compressed there. It's still a bit baggy, but a couple more turns. I won't go too much at this point. Just give it a test with some thin section timber. Oh, that's lovely. Okay, and we've still got to adjust these pins anyway, the guide pins. Either way, let's read about the tracking for a second. So they make tracking sound very easy. They ask that the gullet, which is the low point in the blade, the tooth at the top there and gullets at the bottom of the tooth, I suppose, be centered on the tyre. So the tyre's the rubbery bit on the outside of this wheel. As you can see, at the minute the blade is way too far forwards, so the tracking adjustment is at the back here. This can only be done once the blade is at tension, because otherwise the blade will okay, that's going the wrong way, so I'll just wind up. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? Oh, it's coming off. Hang on, I've got to put the phone down. Bit of fiddling about using the tracking knob. I've now got the blade centered on the wheel. What it doesn't tell you in the instruction manual is that if you wind the tensioning knob off all the way, because I just let the blade fall off, the carriage won't actually move down. What you have to do is use that lever at the back, and it pushes against the carriage and against the spring. So the only way to really back the spring off is to use the lever on the back, and that compresses the spring, so you can change the blade without bugging about with the tensioning knob too much. I've got to retension that now. I'm slightly confused because it says nowhere about adjusting these pins. Wait for the camera to come into focus. Still not coming. Basically, in order to take up lateral play of the blade, I'm sorry, I'm using the wrong camera for this. There are 2 pins at the top, and another 2 pins down below, which should really be snugged up against the blade. Probably not touching it, but snugged up against it. Nor does it say to adjust the roller on the back of the blade, the support for the blade. So I'm just gonna, I suppose, touch them against the blade and hope that's okay. Roller wants to be in contact, or will come into contact the second you apply pressure. But the pins, I don't think they really want to be in contact with the blade all the time. They just want to be somewhere near it to stop it going too far astray, I suppose. Give us a minute and I'll do that. I have switched it on a couple of times. Nothing bad happened. Follow the instructions. I would advise you to have a look at these pins and the roller at the back there before you try cutting, despite the fact that it doesn't mention it in the manual. I don't like the adjustable guides here, the height guide. I suppose you're meant to snug it up quite close to what you're working with to take any slop out the blade, and then if you want thick stuff you've got to raise it up. But with it locked off, it's still pretty flimsy. It's just plastic, I suppose. Not, you know, but what do you expect? It's the cheapest saw you can buy in England anyway. I'm gonna have a go cutting some wood and see how it performs. Just had a little play. I've not used the rip fence or the angle fence guide thing. On the whole, I'm absolutely amazed at this for the price. I can't really comment yet on how well it's going to last or how it's going to perform at other tasks, but certainly freehand on that bit of whatever it is, 60B 30, I don't fucking know. Very nice, it's a lot of fun. Definitely, if you've got 100 quid to spare, you can't push to a proper bandsaw. As far as the Mickey Mouse bandsaw is concerned, this is the tits. Everything's solid enough. Perhaps a few bits are lacking. That guide, for instance. Apart from that, yeah, good for the money. Stay tuned to see how it performs with different materials, and remember, Turbo Concrete Mega Eagle, subscribe, like, share, whatever you want to do. Cheerio, bye bye.